Hello everyone, and welcome to the second part of our two-part series on Move Outside, Still Inside. If you haven't already looked at the first session, then please go view that before this one so that you can understand the information with a more logical flow and get the full picture of the 5 factors for success in meditation. My name is Venerable Michael Wiratamo, and without further ado, let us begin. So first we will recap the goals of this curriculum. And so the goal of this curriculum is to give you a clearer understanding of how to correctly practice the Middle Way meditation method. We also want you to be able to improve your meditation experiences. And finally, we want to help you integrate that into your life so you have the greater ability to move through life with increased stillness. So again, we'll go over the 5 factors to success in meditation, and the first 2 we already talked about in the previous session, which are willingness and comfort. Today we will pick back up with mindfulness, consistency, and observation. So, nowadays mindfulness is a pretty trendy term. It's used in a lot of different spiritual circles, a lot of different occasions, and it has taken on a number of various meanings. None is better than the other, but for our purposes, we will define mindfulness as the ability to maintain gentle and neutral attention on a mental image, sound, or location in order to achieve mental clarity. So now we will describe the process that will help you get to such mental clarity. So first, as we covered last session, we want to start off with comfort, both comfort of the mind and comfort of the body. And then you want to connect that comfort with the center of your body through mindfulness using various techniques. And finally, doing both of these and finding the balance of comfort and mindfulness, we will be able to achieve a heightened state of mental clarity. So I think it's useful to talk about what the importance of using the center of the body is. So in order to help illustrate the power of the center of the body, we can compare it to a magnifying glass that harnesses the power of the sun. I'm sure that in elementary school, maybe you did some science projects where you put a piece of paper on the ground, put the magnifying glass in the sunlight, and then readjusted the magnifying glass until you found the focal point where the light came through the magnifying glass and converged into a condensed rays of sun on the paper, and then that allowed the paper to burst into flames. And so by itself, the sun is very powerful. However, when we use the proper tools and we use them in the right way, we can maximize that power to achieve a greater end than we could have before. So we also have an inner sun, which we can compare to inner peace. So inner peace is always available to us. However, certain negativities in the mind or defilements of the mind may cloud it from view. However, we, through meditation and using various tools at the center of the body, we will allow our mind to slow down. We will allow the clouds obscuring our inner peace to fade away, and then we can harness the power of our inner sun and maximize the power of our mental clarity. So that is a simple a simple analogy that can help you understand the importance of the center of the body. So now we will go over the precise location of the center of the body. So if you can imagine a line coming in your belly button and coming out your spine, and then another line coming in your left hip and out your right hip, where those two lines intersect in the center of your body, if you move them up 2 finger widths from the navel level, then that is the precise location of the center of your body. Another way to conceptualize this better is to take in a deep breath, fill up your lungs, and the deepest point in your stomach that the breath seems to reach, that's essentially the area that you want to place your mind. Another way to conceptualize this is if you've ever experienced turbulence on an airplane, or when your stomach drops when you go over that first hill on a roller coaster, or when someone scares you, or when you get butterflies, nervousness in your stomach, or when you have that gut feeling that when you're connecting to your intuition. All of these is very familiar feelings at the center of our body. Whenever we feel threatened or whenever we need to tap into our intuition, our mind knows where to go by itself. It knows that the home of intuition, where it can rest safely, is the center of our body. So if any of those situations are familiar to you, then maybe that can help you understand the proper area for the center of your body where you want to place your mind. However, when it comes time for meditation, you don't want to be so precise about it. Again, it's placing it in the general vicinity of your stomach. And by using the 3 meditation tools that we will soon cover, your mind will be able to slow down, and then it will gravitate towards the proper area on its own accord as it sinks deeper into stillness. So the 3 tools that we use in the Middle Way meditation method are the mantra, visualization, or simply the placement of awareness gently at the center of your body. So the mantra is very helpful for things such as mental chatter or thoughts that are going on in your head, your inner dialogue. And so this is using sound at the center of your body to help those distractions fade away. So the noise that we usually use, it's a Pali term. A Pali term, which is, Pali is actually an ancient language used by the Buddha, very akin to Sanskrit. And the phrase is Samma Arahang. Now, Samma means the right, means proper, right and proper, and Arahang means the mental state of complete purity. So it's as if we are reassuring ourselves gently that we are using the right method to achieve a deep state of mental purity and clarity. So, however, if you do not feel comfortable using this phrase, then you are welcome to use any phrase or keyword that you like, something very simple that can lull your mind into stillness. Myself, I use one that is actually suited towards my own mental habits, and it goes, no need to explain, and it has the same type of rhythm of Samma Arahang, so I can intermix those two together. And for me, I always feel as though when I'm going throughout my day, I'm either giving explanations or listening to explanations. Inside my own head, I'm either explaining how I feel about a certain event in the future, whether that's fantasy or plans, or how I feel about the present moment, or an explanation of how I feel about something in the past. Always explanations going on, so when it comes time for meditation, it's finally a relief from all of these explanations that are going on. No need to explain anything, simply rest at the center of the body. A couple of more of phrases that might be helpful for you are clear and bright, let it go, let it be, or whatever the case may be that will allow you to again, allow your mind to calm down. So you can imagine this as if it were emanating from the center of your body, as if you placed a small speaker in your stomach. It's a subtle difference between imagining that you're saying it as opposed to listening to it from the source, which is the center of your body. And that subtle difference can really help you and allow you to have a more comfortable feeling and sink deeper into stillness at the center of your body. The next tool that we can use is called visualization. Now, visualization, you can visualize a mental object that is bright, clear, and spherical. And the fact that it's spherical will help because it's easier to imagine things with less features. So something such as a bright shining star, the sun, full moon, or even something like a tennis ball or basketball. Really, it's just whatever is easy for your mind to visualize. So if you play basketball or tennis ball a lot, or if you play basketball or tennis a lot, then maybe a basketball or a tennis ball will be easy for you to imagine. Again, comfort is key. So, however, if you aren't, sometimes I don't feel very comfortable doing visualization. Some people are very inclined towards visualization. However, myself, I feel that I have to force an image into existence. So I just place my awareness at the center, and I visualize a feeling more than an object, such as if you were holding a fruit in your hand, it has a certain weight, it has a certain texture, it has a certain temperature, and you can imagine that subtle feeling in the center of your body. So you really just have to experiment with these 3 tools and see what works for you. Whether you want to use 1, 2, or all 3 of these methods, it is up to you to figure out what your proper path to stillness is. So it's very important to try to find the proper balance of comfort and mindfulness, a 50-50 balance, being 50% relaxed and 50% aware. Because if we are too comfortable, we are too relaxed, we will fall asleep, we will lose consciousness. If we are too mindful, and we have too much intention, then we will create tension. And then we will not feel comfortable, and we will not be able to sink deeper into stillness at the center of the body. So the more that we practice, the easier it will be to find this balance. And so it's a skill that you will be able to develop over time. And something that is very helpful with developing that skill is consistency. Now, there are 2 types of consistency. Everyday consistency and all-day consistency, both of which are very important. So here's a very simple quote that is very true at the same time. If you only do it once in a while, don't get mad when you only get results once in a while. And that's true for anything you do, but it's doubly true for meditation. Meditation is not something that you can do once a day, or not something that you can do once a week or twice a week and expect to see large results in your life. It's something that you have to do very consistently for a long period of time in order to reap the benefits. So for everyday consistency, something that can help you in the beginning to have that daily practice is to connect with your why power in order to create that willingness. And we talked about how to create such a strong why power and reconnect with it every day in the previous session. So you can go back and reference that. So once you recognize the reasons that you need to meditate every single day, then you know that you must make the time in order to practice meditation every single day. Because you have to understand that it is just as necessary as taking a shower. We've been taking a shower every single day since we were children, and it's not something that is difficult to do. It's actually something that we know we must do in order to feel good and healthy about ourselves. So we know that we have to shower the body. However, showering the mind is just as important, because the mind is the lens through which we view the world. And if that lens is colored by greed, or it's distorted by anger, or if it is clouded by delusion, then we are not going to be able to perceive reality accurately, and then we will stumble into sources of suffering without understanding why. And when we don't understand where this suffering comes from, then we start to point the finger at others. We start to point the finger at our boss, at our coworkers, at our family, or at the president. Whatever the case may be, we do not realize that the true source of our suffering is our own clouded mind. So we must shower the mind every single day, just as we shower the body, in order to cleanse it and to provide mental clarity so that we can avoid the unnecessary sufferings in our life. Now, 30 minutes a day is the recommended minimum amount to practice every single day, because especially when you're starting, because it takes your mind, especially the untrained mind, at least 30 minutes to detach from your daily thoughts and find its way to the center in order to be properly cleansed and purified. However, in the beginning, if 30 minutes seems unmanageable to you, then start with something that's a little bit easier. If that's 5 minutes, then start with 5 minutes and do that every single day and build up from there. Figure out what time of day is easy to fit that 5 minutes into, whether that's right before bed, whether that's right before or right after you wake up, or whether that's on your bathroom break at work. As long as you can find that time every day, you will build that habit and you can scale up until you have 30 minutes or more every single day. So that is everyday consistency. And then the next type of consistency is all-day consistency. So it's important to note that meditation is not just sitting silently. It's actually a way of life. It's a way of living. And it's a way of moving through life without causing unnecessary suffering for yourself and others. And so if we can use the 3 mindfulness tools to gently keep our mind at the center of the body all day long, then we can refine our living, and we can then, and as a result, our meditation experience will be refined as well. And that is a cycle that is self-supporting. Once our meditation improves, our life will improve. Once our life improves, our meditation will improve. And it's this positive feedback loop. So it's very important to recognize that keeping your mind at the center of the body is something that you do inside and outside of meditation. So all day and every day. And finally, we come to the last of the 5 factors for success in the middle way meditation, and that is observation. Now, observation for our purposes will be defined as the skill to observe and identify all aspects of your practice that lead to success and all aspects that lead away from success. The speed of your meditation progress depends largely on the refinement of your observation skills. So your ability to accurately identify the places where you're doing things properly and it's leading you to deeper stillness, if you can replicate those, then you will continue to progress. And on the same note, if you can identify the areas of your practice that are leading you away from stillness, and you can adjust those accordingly, then you will continue to progress ever more quickly. So, here are some guidelines for observation that can really help you refine that skill. So you want to find out how to create the appropriate body and mind comfort. So yoga is certainly a highly recommended as a good practice to supplement your meditation. And you'll be amazed at how your yoga practice improves your meditation practice, and how your meditation practice will improve your yoga practice. And in addition to body comfort, we also have mind comfort. And you want to be able to work on improving your emotional stability throughout the day and maintaining positive emotion. This is a topic that we touched on in the last session, so again, you may reference that. So the next thing to do is to talk to more experienced meditators, and they can provide you with advice on overcoming obstacles that they have faced, and you can apply their advice to your own life. And then we also need to repeat what works and constantly adjust what does not. Meditation is both a science and an art. It's a science because there's a methodology that many people have learned and implemented to good success time after time. It is something that they can repeat, and it is something that there is a identifiable track to success. However, it is also an art form because each person is different. What works for one person might not work for the next person. If someone is very good at visualization, that brings them to stillness. The other person might not be so good at that and might need to use the mantra or placing the awareness gently at the center of their body. And in addition to everyone being different, you are different each day. Day to day, your mind and body change. Even hour to hour, your mind and body change. So what worked for you yesterday might not work today. What worked for you this morning might not work this evening. So the more that we can observe what practices do work, the more that we can replicate those at certain times of the day when we're experiencing certain emotions. And then we can take that observation into our life. What emotional states was I feeling that led to a poor meditation? And what thoughts or situations that I responded to in a way that was not so good? How can I respond to that differently? How can I adjust myself? How can I adjust the way that I respond to negativities in my life in order to minimize the negative emotional states, maintain more emotional stability so that I can continue to progress in meditation? And through that continual progression in meditation, I will be able to improve the quality of my life. So this is the way that you can refine your living and refine your meditation. And again, these two things will support each other. So observation is absolutely a key factor if you want to progress quickly. So now we will talk about the most powerful tool for refined observation, which is a meditation journal. So a meditation journal, it's another thing to add to your list of things to do. I know we already asked you to meditate every single day, meditate all day, and now we're asking you to spend some more time after your meditation journaling what you have experienced. And this is for people who are very committed. And if you want to see more progress, then this is an invaluable tool. And the most advanced meditators in our temple, they make multiple journal entries a day so that they can observe and adjust. And we think that maybe we we know just by observing mentally and adjusting that way. But once you articulate things through the written word, you can really discover a lot more about yourself, about your mind, and about your emotions. So the more detailed you write, the better. So I have some examples here about the type of detail that you can go into. So you can write down the time of day that you meditated. You can write down the length of the session. You can write down what you did before the session. You can write about the obstacles that you ran into and the successful techniques that you used to overcome those obstacles. Then you can describe your inner experiences. And finally, you can give each meditation a rating. Now, what the rating will do is once you rate them, you can flip back through your past meditation experiences and you can see, oh, here are all the 5-star meditations. Let's compare and contrast. Let's see the similarities. What did I do in both of these situations that led to positive results? And how can I replicate those in the future? Conversely, you can look back at maybe the 1 or 2-star meditations and see what you did wrong. What did you do before the meditation that led to this not so still experience? And in that way, you can start to refine on a deeper level. And this is the way to really observe on a very refined level. So again, it requires more time and effort, but in the end, it is really going to provide a lot of benefit both for your meditation and for your life. So finally, we come to application suggestions, and I'll go over these very quickly. I will provide a link for this PowerPoint in the description so you can review it at your leisure. So the first thing regarding willingness, you want to reconnect with your why power daily. And you also want to connect often with information, people, or places who will inspire you to continue your practice earnestly. The Georgia Meditation Center once a week is a fantastic way to do that. I promise B did not pay me to say that. It is just something that I did myself, and it was probably the most useful thing to keeping me on the track, to be able to go to some place every single week in order to connect with other people who are on the same path as me. And that really provided me with the willingness to continue and with a community of virtuous friends to support my practice. And you want to do your best to delicately balance comfort and mindfulness to be 50-50 in every meditation session. Again, this is going to take some time, but as you observe yourself more, as you become more consistent in your practice, you will become more skilled in finding the proper balance at the center of your body and sinking into a deeper state of mental clarity. You also want to make time to meditate every single day for at least 30 minutes. Take a shower every day, both for your body and both for your mind. It is very necessary for your health and well-being. Use the 3 mindfulness tools to stay connected to the center at all times. This is the best way to integrate your practice into your life and see some serious benefits. I remember when I first started meditating, I started doing this just naturally. I tried to keep my mind at the center of the body. Nobody told me to do that. I just figured, oh, let's see if I can meditate while I'm driving. And of course I didn't close my eyes and start driving, but I kept my mind as much as I could at the center of my body. I repeated the mantra, Samma Arahang, as I was moving through traffic. And amazingly enough, I started driving slower, less aggressively. When people cut me off, it didn't bother me. And this may seem like a minor thing, but usually, and especially in Atlanta, we spend so much time in our cars that and that's how we start and end our day. So it can have a huge impact on our life, and it did on mine. So definitely work on keeping your mind at the center of the body, using whatever tool is most comfortable for you. And finally, make daily meditation entries to observe, review, and adjust. So we have come to the end of our explanation of the 5 factors to success in meditation. So now I'd like to paint the bigger picture for you to help you understand the implications, the deeper implications of meditation, both for yourself and for the world around you. So I don't need to tell you, everyone is already very aware that the world is in pretty bad shape at the moment, from political conflicts to social divisions to environmental issues. These are things that we are constantly inundated with from television, social media, and even conversations with our friends. And TV and social media especially blow these things out of proportion. However, it is representative of the reality, however exaggerated that may be. But we have to become aware of the way that these channels of information frame the situations at hand. Everyone seems to point the finger at this external enemy, whether it's a powerful figure, a political party, a nationality, a race, a gender, or any other way that we divide ourselves. And we're pointing the finger at someone else when what we should be doing is looking at ourselves, looking at our own lives and seeing where we can adjust. Because we cannot change others. So the best way to change the world is to change ourselves. Alexander Solzhenitsyn, a Russian philosopher, said that the line separating good and evil passes not through states, nor between classes, nor between political parties either, but right through every human heart. So we have to understand that the forces of greed, anger, and delusion must be overcome from within, not outside. So since we cannot change others, we must look at ourselves and resolve to change. And the best way to change ourselves is through meditation and self-discipline. But if you start with meditation, greater self-discipline will follow naturally. Meditation is the most powerful way to let go of your deeply rooted bad habits and replace them with better ones. It also gives you the power to control your emotions and reactions to daily situations in your life with more grace, with more ease, with more understanding, compassion, and empathy for other people. It will help you be a better father to your son, a wife to your husband, a daughter to your mother, and increase our effectiveness in every important role that we play in our lives. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. Be the role model for others and lend a helping hand if they want to follow in the same footsteps. Then peace will spread from the individual to the family, from the family to the community, from the community to the society, and from the society to the whole world. But it starts with you, and you can never underestimate your power to shape the world around you, because you already do it every single day. Every word that we speak and every action we take creates ripple effects that we will never truly understand. It's up to you to decide whether those ripple effects are positive or whether they are negative. This type of personal responsibility is the only way to fix this burning planet, as opposed to unwittingly stoking the flame. Well, sorry for being a little bit dramatic there, but I think it's important just to let people know that meditation is so much more than just a way to reduce stress. It's really our responsibility to do so, to cleanse our mind in order to create the most amount of benefit for ourselves and for others, to reduce the most amount of suffering for ourselves and others, and move through life with more empathy, with more compassion, with more understanding, and create a better world from the inside out. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining us for both of these sessions. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope it can help you to increase and bring benefit to your meditation as well as your life. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.